Hey Peaches, I'm going to walk you through the basic probability portion of our pre-algebra notes, and this is all available on Google Classroom. If you run into any issues, just shoot me an email or message me on Google Hangouts and I will help you out as much as possible. So the first thing you need to know is that the 8th grade standard assumes you remember basic probability. And that's not always a fair assumption. Sometimes it's been a while since we've done basic probability. So I put together some resources for you to review the basics of simple events. I strongly recommend you go through and just make sure you do have this skill mastered before you move on, because it can get confusing if you're not working with the same amount of background knowledge. So what we have here are some StudyJam links. They will take you to the StudyJam website. You're going to see two options. You can click step by step or you can click test yourself. It's not a bad idea if you are pretty confident you know what you're doing, but you're not 100% confident. Go ahead and do the test yourself option first. That will let you go through and answer some questions, and then you'll know whether or not you've got it down. If you get a 100, you know you're ready to move on. If you don't get a 100, well, then you can come back and do step by step.
Sam bought tickets for a school raffle.
That's great. We're going to watch that later. There are related jams that I recommend you also go through: probability as a fraction, different combinations, and tree diagrams. Combinations and tree diagrams are really helpful when we get into compound probability, because this is a really simple way for you to find the sample space or the list of all possible outcomes. And that can be incredibly helpful. So back to our presentation, we also have a brain pop. Tim and Moby can explain basic probability to you. And we've got some IXL skills. These are very, very basic IXLs. These are 4th and 5th grade, I believe. And you're not even really working with major concepts at all. You're just determining whether things are equally likely, less likely, certain, impossible, things like that. And probability of one event is a nice, simple, find the simple event probability. For example, what is the probability of spinning an odd number? Well, there are 6 sections and 1, 2, 3 odd numbers. So that would be 3 out of 6. Probability of picking something less than 7. Well, there are 2 numbers less than 7 out of 5. 2/5 is 40%. So that's your basics for probability. If you think you're ready to move on but you're not quite sure, here are 4 of the 7 IXL recommended skills. These are 8th grade level IXLs, but they do cover the basics of probability. So hopefully this is helpful, and I will see you in the next video.